Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi hi hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi hi hi. Yai hi hi hi. Yai hi 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 hi hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi hi hi. Your voices are beautiful. Let's keep them flowing. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi hi hi. Yai hi hi. Yai hi hi. Yai hi hi. Yai hi. Yai hi. Yada da. Yai hi hi hi. Yai hi hi hi. Yai hi hi hi. Yai hi hi. Yai hi hi hi. Yai hi hi hi. Yai hi hi hi. Yai hi hi.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, that was a beautifully full response for our first summer service. This bodes well, my friends. Thank you for being here. It is such a joy to get to welcome in Shabbat together and to welcome in our friends on Zoom, because I see lots of new faces actually around our sanctuary tonight. I want to make sure that we get a chance to introduce ourselves to each other, and also because we have the opportunity to introduce you to one of our new rabbis joining our clergy team this year, Rabbi Jordy Kalman. We are so lucky to have you here. I am so grateful to get to share the bima with you for the first time. And so we will get to know Jordy over the course of our service today. She'll be giving our sermon, and in that spirit of welcome here in the sanctuary, turn to someone maybe you don't know or you haven't seen in a while. You can get up out of your seats and say hello. And on Zoom, the fun thing for you is to pick a face in a box and wave. You don't know who's waving to you, and you don't know who's waving to somebody else. So we're going to say a couple of hellos.
Go for it. You got it. Okay. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi hi yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi hi hi. Yai hi 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 hi. Yai hi hi. A little louder, fill the room. Yai hi 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 hi.
As we welcome Shabbat, as we welcome Rabbi Kalman, we also welcome her family. And so for our candle lighting, it's my pleasure to invite up Matthew Kalman to light our candles as we turn to page 121 and join together in this reading and this intention before we light our Shabbat candles. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Thank you. Welcome. We turn to page 128 as we continue to get into the Shabbat spirit in song Yedid Nefesh, the middle of the page, 128.
Yai dai 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 Yai dai 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 Yai dai 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 Yai dai 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 Yedid nefesh Yedid nefesh Hav harachaman Meshoch avdecha eretz tzonecha Yahutz avdecha kemo hayal Yishtachaveh el mul hadarecha Yarutz avdecha כמו היה ישתחווה אל מול הדרך יאי לי יאי לי יאללה לי יאללה לי
We turn to page 142 as we continue to welcome Shabbat's Shalom Aleichem. Welcome in the angels who will help us to bring in this day of joy, this day of rest, of peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hashare, Malachi Elyon. Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Melech מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי העליון. מי מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 138 for Lechato D, as we invite up some special guests to come and lift up our worship even higher, Hannah and Jackie Scholl.
Just as the angels have been welcomed into our space and will welcome in the Shabbat bride, these beautiful voices will also enter.
שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי. לקראת כלה פני שבת אקבלה לך דודי. לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה.
לקראת שבת לכו ונחה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תקילה
לך דודי. לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5.
התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי, שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך בגללך דודי.
לך דודי.
לקראת כלה
לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. יאללה ליי, יאללה ליי, יאללה ליי, יאללה
Rise and face the entrance to greet the Shabbat presence. Verse 9.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, הולך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה.
Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat mekabelat. Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat mekabelat.
Towards the ark, and we turn to page 146 for the call to worship. Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
We respond as one community.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
Please be seated. Page 148. A refrain that's become custom to our community, words within page 148, or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. And then we'll invite you to fill the room with whatever little mumbled prayers you might have, out loud, in your heart, whatever's on your mind. Or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Pray to yourself now. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu asher yomari v'aravim, v'chokmato sharim v'tvam yishaneh hitim, v'chalivet hazmanim u'malachim. Oy mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei. Light to dark, dark to light now. Oy mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Baruch atah Adonai Hamari v'aravim.
Page 150, Ahavat Olam, with beautiful voices again, who I got to hear earlier, and it's just beyond. Page 150.
Let's join all together. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim,
משפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו קומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. Just the voices. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
We continue with the words of the Shema, page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Page 154, we'll chant the words of the Ve'ahavta together. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha mechol levavcha u'lechol nafshecha u'lechol me'otecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am v'shivtecha b'vetecha u'lechtecha v'derech u'shochtecha u'v'kumecha Ukshartam lehot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beineinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim leloechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihyon lachem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Amen. Page 158, we sing more words of Torah as we celebrate our freedom, Micha Mocha.
Micha Mocha,
כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר הקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא. מלכותך ראו פניך, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאי לי לי, יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי 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 לי, יאי 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 לי לי לי. ונאמר כי פערה את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Page 161. Let there be love and Hashkivenu with a number of people.
Let There Be Love, as you might know, is the TB anthem, and the TB anthem should not just be done by rabbis and cantors, but should be done by everyone in the whole community. So, Oren, Hannah, Jackie, Lev, come on up. Let's bring the whole community in and sing Let There Be Love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, L'Shalom. V'ha'amidenu, Shomreinu l'chaim, Ufros aleinu, Sukkot Shlomech. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, L'Shalom. Pick your favorite part. Let there be love standing among us. Let's get someone on all those. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. All together, let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
As we turn to page 164 for the Amidah, for Adonai Sfatai, we think of the moments of gratitude we want to lift up from this past week. I, for one, am very grateful to have such incredible leaders, young leaders in our community. And as we reflect on this week that is past, we rise, we lift our bodies, we lift our spirits. We turn to page 164 as we open our hearts, our lips, our souls in prayer and gratitude together.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha, Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Open up our lips so we may praise your name. Open up our hearts so we can feel our pain. Open up our souls and let our love make us whole, and we will praise.
We will praise
Your name, Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha, Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha.
166.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekoneh HaKol, Vezocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol atah rav lehoshia, morid atah. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim berofech cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, dishenei afar, michamocha ba'gevurot, umito melach, melech memit umechaye, umatzliach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimecha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, האל הקדוש.
Please continue at your own pace with your own reflections, meditations, whatever is on your heart, on your soul. You can find inspiration in the words of the prayer book through page 180.
We conclude on page 180, a prayer for shalom deep down inside of us and all the way up, Bimramav, from the heavens. Ose shalom, Bimramav, Uyase shalom, Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimramav Uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimramav Uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimramav Uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru
We add to that beautiful prayer for peace, prayers on the Shabbat for our loved ones who are in need of healing, whether it is a healing of body, of mind, or of spirit. If there's someone on your heart this Shabbat, I'll invite you in the room to rise so we may hear their names out loud. On Zoom, please do put their names in the chat so that we can hold them in our hearts together as a community. We are also thinking of Craig Weiner and Shanazel this Shabbat. We join together on page 371 for the words of Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekol habracha Laimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekol habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We also gather together in community to celebrate life's joyous milestones. So if there's anyone here today who is celebrating a Shehechianu moment, a birthday, an anniversary, a significant life milestone, we'd love to hear.
My husband Paul and I are celebrating 37 years of marriage.
37 years of marriage. Mazal tov to you and your husband. Beautiful. Say a birthday? Happy birthday to you. Another birthday. Happy birthday.
I'd like to add one more birthday simcha before potential anniversaries. It just so happened that this past week we celebrated the birthdays of Rabbi Jordy Kalman and Rabbi Ben Rosen, who we'll have the chance to meet very soon. 2 days apart, who would have thunk?
Good week for birthdays. I saw some more hands. Birthday and a 35th anniversary. Mazel tov and mazel tov. Beautiful. Anything else? Yes. A 43rd anniversary. Oh, beautiful. In the summer, we get a lot
I
of
know, we get more
anniversaries.
anniversaries as we go.
There's a lot to celebrate this month, but yesterday, Sandy celebrated her 75th birthday.
75th birthday. A big one. Mazal tov. Beautiful. Did I miss any hands? For all of these occasions that we've said out loud, that we've written in the chat, let's join together. If you'd like the words, they're on page 648. Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'hegianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'hegianu lazman hazeh. Let's say Amen together.
Neglected to mention, Margot and Sydney Friedman had their 61st anniversary this week as well. Mazal tov to Margot and Sydney. And it is my pleasure to invite up Rabbi Jordy Kalman to teach us words of Torah on this Shabbat. So we are excited to get to know you a little bit through your words and a little bit more after that.
Rats, pigeons, and humans. Rats, dirty, trash scavenging, rapidly reproducing, disease-spreading rats. And pigeons, always underfoot, always in the way as they huddle around that one person who seems to exist in every park and square, sitting on a bench with a sack of bread. We want to feel very far removed from these lowly creatures. As humans, clearly superior to city rats and park pigeons, but we actually have more in common with them than we may think. Rats and humans share the desire for companionship. You might even call that community. Researchers tell us that rats, like humans, prefer to stick together, to form groups and travel in packs. Pigeons, despite the way we talk about them, are actually very intelligent. They can recognize all 26 letters of the alphabet. They can distinguish between two different human beings in a single photograph. There's even some scientific debate if pigeons, along with humans, are one of the few species who can pass the mirror test, the ability to recognize one's own reflection in a mirror, something we could ascribe to a sense of self or identity. Rats, pigeons, and humans. While we have more in common than maybe we realize or perhaps are even comfortable with, still, one of these things is not like the other. We share commonalities with other species, like the need for community and the possession of a sense of self, but one of the biggest ways in which we differ is that humans care about meaning. Rats and pigeons and most other beings on our earth, they respond to stimuli. They respond to the things in their world. Humans don't respond to the stimuli, the things themselves, but rather to the meanings of them. It's a critical distinction. Consciously or not, we humans process the information. We say, what does that mean? How do we interpret this? We respond to meaning. We spend our time deciphering it. Our actions are driven by it. We build our entire lives on a foundation of making sense of our world, of making meaning. We need meaning. We need purpose. We need intention. In our Torah portion this week, Korach, we read about the Brit Melach, the covenant of salt. This isn't the first time in the Torah we've heard this idea. A few months ago in Leviticus, we read about Melach Brit, the salt of our covenant. There in that first Torah portion of Leviticus, Vayikra, the Torah says, V'chol korban minchatecha b'melach timloch, v'lo tashbit melach brit Elohecha. And you shall season your every offering of meal with salt. You shall not omit from your meal offering the salt of your covenant with God. In the context of divine covenant, salt feels sort of pedestrian, common, like a rat or maybe a pigeon. We find salt next to our stoves and on our tables, but why do we find it here in the relationship between the people of Israel and God? This almost odd concept draws out discussion from our rabbinic tradition. Our commentators seem to agree that the Melach Brit, the salt of our covenant in Leviticus, is a literal reference. Salt was a required part of all korbanot, of all sacrifices that were brought forward in the temple. And these sacrifices were a reminder of the covenant between God and the people, the salt being a symbol for the sacrifices that keep that covenant intact. The Midrash explains why salt. The Midrash, which often personifies elements of our natural world in a wonderfully whimsical way, tells us that on the second day of creation, when the waters had to leave dry land to make sea and sand, the waters were afraid that they were doomed to a lowly existence so far from God and the heavens. So in turn, God promised the waters that they would have an important role, that the salt of their seas would be offered as a part of the people's sacrifices to God. So if this Melach Brit, the salt of the covenant in Leviticus, is the literal salt included in sacrifices, what about the opposite, the Brit Melach, the covenant of salt from this Shabbat's Torah portion. Our commentators Rashi and Rashbam agree that here salt is being recognized for its preservative properties, its ability to make things last longer. A covenant of salt is one that is ensured to be enduring and everlasting. This all makes sense, a pretty logical, clear interpretation, but it's almost too neat, too easily explained. Ibn Ezra, one of the greatest Jewish thinkers of the Middle Ages, has another thought on this portion. He writes that a covenant of salt is the covenant between God and the people, a promise that we will never offer anything to God that is bland and unsalted. And even more so, to offer something unsalted into the world would be disrespectful to God. Ibn Ezra, though a traditionally practicing Jewish man of the 1100s, is often joked about today as the first Reformed Jew. Ibn Ezra was a curious man, turning and turning a problem to see all angles. When he wrote his philosophy and commentary, he left literal space between his words to allow everyone to read their own thoughts into them. Ibn Ezra thought about intention. He thought about how we consciously observe our tradition in a way that brings meaning into our lives. Living a Jewish life is not about checking items off a list, that I did this and I didn't do that. It's about finding a way to root ourselves in meaning and purpose. Have you ever been in the car, just driving down the road, and all of a sudden looked around and said, whoa, how in the world did I get here? You know, when you're driving and you just unconsciously go into autopilot until you realize you've arrived somewhere and have no clue how it happened. Or even worse, you look around and don't know how you got there, but the there is in fact not even the right place. I once got on the highway and was so disconnected that I drove 40 miles before I realized I had gone north and needed to go south. Now, if you zoned out through some traffic on 95, maybe that's not so bad. But what about other parts of our lives? How much do we just pass through and miss? How often do we turn on autopilot, walk through the motions? Do we not bring our most full and most authentic selves? How often do we offer a bland, unsalted version of who we are? It is uniquely human to need meaning to thrive. We need to have a reason. We need an intention. We cannot offer up a life that is bland. This coming week, how could we be even just 5% more conscious? 5% saltier. May this Shabbat bring us increased intentionality. May we strive and perhaps even succeed to root our actions in meaning, to do things consciously and for a reason. May we begin a new week with salt shakers in our pockets, ready to do the work. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will.
Ken Yehi Ratzon. Shkoach.
Thank you, Rabbi Kalman. We look forward to creating much meaning and intention with you in these years to come. Thank you. We continue with our service as we begin to conclude on page 586 with the words of Aleinu. Please rise as you are able.
Aleinu l'shabeach lahadon hakol, lated gedula liotze breishi, shelo asanu ki goye haratzon, velo samanu ki mishpechot ha'adam ha, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגוד עלינו ככל המונה, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך כל הארץ ביום ההוא Vayom hahu yeh Adonai echad. Ushemo echad.
As we turn to page 598 for the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, we invite anyone who is here and holding a memory particularly close this Shabbat to rise and share those names with us.
Did we miss anyone?
We're marking the recent deaths of James Adelson, Brett Cohen, Miles Fetterman, Charlotte Michelson Frank, Howard Goldstein, and Edith White, and we've been asked to share the names Michael Greenberg, Adele Schenker, and Joan Siegel. Page 598, we join those who are standing for the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Ve'amad yivrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabba mivarach le'olam u'lalmei amaya. Yitzbarach.
V'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalel, shemei dekudasha
Brichu.
Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing.
Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. You may be seated. So there's a lot going on this week at TBE and throughout the whole summer. I think the biggest thing going on is Summer Institute. What's going on for Summer Institute?
Summer Institute is happening. So throughout the summer, of course, we have Minyan on Zoom every Saturday at 10 a.m. We hope that you'll join us, whether you're a Minyan regular, whether it's something that's new for you. Summer is always a great opportunity to try something new. So Minyan every Saturday at 10. We've also just begun an amazing course in contemporary Jewish thought with Rabbi Nama from Or Chadash. Our next session is July 6th, and you can jump in at that one and it will be okay. It is definitely something special. We'll also have opportunities to get to know our new rabbis. So Rabbi Kalman will be teaching us on Tuesday, July 18th, and Rabbi Rosen will be teaching us on August 1st. These are great opportunities to get to know our new clergy a little bit as well. Also, for this week's agenda, an amazing trip to the Berkshires to see Golda's Balcony at Shakespeare & Co. If you're interested in joining Cantor Rosenberg and I on Saturday, August 12th, please come and say a word or send me an email. So lots of good things coming up, and we will take this moment to sanctify this Shabbat, to be in this moment. And so on page 123,
Can I maybe
For
pull
Woods
a
of
little bit
Kiddush.
of an audible
You
as
can
to
do
who
that.
can come up here? There are many friends who are about to head off to summer camp. This may be the last service before summer camp, or Israel. Nifty in Israel also counts, or Eisner in Israel, whatever it is. So if you are about to go off to summer camp, or maybe if you're just celebrating this pre-camp summer vibe season, we invite you to come on up. All you need is a baruch. Come on up. Asher, you count two. Lev, you count two. Ellie, you're about to go off to camp. Come on up. We invite you to rise as you're able. Asher is the oldest one here. You can grab the Kiddush cup. I invite you to rise as you're able, page 123 for Kiddush. Ready to start? 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'vratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'ma'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehila le'mikra'e kodesh zecher le'tzihat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava u'vratzon hinchatanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Take a sip. It's always juice. It's always juice. Before Motzi, I just want to highlight we had many, many musical gifts on the Bima today. It is such a blessing to be a part of this community that values and cherishes music so deeply. Thank you to Hannah Scholl, to Jackie Scholl, to Asher, to Lev, to Ella, to Oren, to various other people, and especially Asher, no rehearsal, just jumping in on piano. It was amazing. So thank you to the musical gifts of this community. Let's get that challah uncovered and we can say Motzi.
We would do the honors. Beautiful. And let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
Take a bite if you can have challah.
Beautiful. Completing the mitzvah.
And we'll wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Lai 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, minor 4, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh my